today I wanted to talk a little about the books I read in July, since it's already the beginning of August. It was a month I did a lot of reading, especially because of the reading rush, but I also read some books on my own and with my book club. The first book I read in July was What Alice Forgot by Liane Moriarty. It was a great book. I give it a 4 out of 5 stars. It touched subjects I know very little of, such as marriage, raising children, and infertility. So yeah, it was very, very good. And it touches all of those subjects without being too heavy or too boring. It was a very good book. Like, it was light. I particularly liked how the author described Alice's feelings. It was very relatable. Yeah, it was very good. Then the next one I read, which was kind of a bomb, not because it was not good, but because it gave me so much anger, you know. It's The Wives by Tarryn Fisher. Again, a really fast read. I think I read it like in 2 days. I started like in the evening and then I had to pull nearly an all-nighter to finish it. It was pretty good because it kept you like guessing like what's going on, like what is going to happen. So it's about this lady who is married to a guy who also has 2 wives. And this is not a Middle Eastern sort of tale. It's in the US, so it's pretty shocking at first, and it stirred a lot of emotions. Like, it got me so angry at like both parties, like her and her husband, and the whole situation. It was horrible. So I don't know what to say. If I would give, I think I would give you 3 stars, only because it's very fast to read and like you have to figure out what's going on and how it's gonna end, you know, like if he's gonna drop the other wives to stay with her or what. So it is nicely written. I just did not enjoy the topic at all. So the next book I read was In 5 Years. Yeah, there you go, you can see the cover. It's by Rebecca Serle. I came across it online, like I had no recommendation for it, and I really enjoyed it. It was one of my favorite books I read in July. It's very, very light, and yet also talks about your life choices and how you deal with things and how fragile life is. I think it's a great read, like, and it's super easy. Like, I read it again in 2 days. So I think it's a book I would recommend for anyone. So it was not the best book I read, so I would give it a 4 out of 5, but it was super good, like really, really nice. The next book I read was The Red Notebook. It's by Antoine Laurain. I'm not very good at French. I'm not good at all. I never learned French. So I really enjoyed this book. I read it with my book club, actually. It was pretty light. I liked how the author went through the romance. It was very, very subtle, and in the descriptions, and yeah, I don't want to give too much away, but I loved because it was super light and it really showed that French and I guess Parisian way of life, like where you live a very simple but good life, prioritizing good food, good wine, having a lot of free time, reading good books, having wholesome conversations. That to me really sounds very French, and you could see throughout the different characters. It was pretty good. Yeah, I would give it a 4 out of 5. Really good, really recommend. Really easy read and very, very short. So the 5th book I read was Such a Fun Age by Kiley. I already talked about it on my reading rush vlog and thoughts, but it was a really good book. I think the main character really resonates with a lot of us millennials, because she really is going through a millennial life crisis. Like she doesn't have a set path. She doesn't feel like she has it figured out. Like she doesn't have a house, or yeah, this is not the main part of the book, but this is what I really connected with in the book. It was very cool to see a little bit of her perspective in being a black woman. Yeah, and how the things that happened to her really unroll a lot of events. Yeah, I really recommend. I do understand why a lot of people are reading it, and it's like in the bestsellers list. Pretty good. Also, we give it a 4 out of 5. Pretty good. We recommend to anyone who wants a book to read. Not too heavy, not shallow at all. Pretty good. Then I read The Snowman, which is by Joe Nesbo. I don't have the cover because the version I downloaded didn't have a cover. I don't know what happened. It was a good book. So I think it was well written. It did have a well developed plot, but I wouldn't go out of my way to read anything from the author or really recommend it to other people. It was not a waste of time. I enjoyed it. I did want to know what happened. It is an interesting subject, you know, serial killers. It just didn't really amaze me, so yeah, 3 out of 5. So the 7th book I finished this month was Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. I really enjoyed it. It was the challenge for the reading rush where you had to read the book you already have seen the movie. So I already knew the plot, I already knew how it ended, but still I really enjoyed this book. I'm very partial to it because I love sci-fi and this whole side of books, but yeah, I would give it a 4 out of 5. And without a doubt to recommend to anyone who likes sci-fi. Yeah, I would say to anyone to read the book rather than watch the movie, although the movie is really well done. You just usually get a lot more content and you feel more connected to the story reading the book rather than seeing the movie, unless you're one of those people who prefers movies. But yeah, I think this one really deserves the book because it really shows you more of the Oasis, you know, this platform where a lot of their life is. So yeah, 4 out of 5. And finally, the 8th and last book I read was The Song of Achilles. So as you can see, I did not accomplish the reading rush challenges because I read 2 books out of the reading rush and still only reached 8 as a total for the month. This book really surprised me because I had already read Troy, which was really good, but this book really surprised me because it touched another aspect of Achilles' life, like his personal life. I really enjoyed how they pictured him. I think it was pretty well written. It was a light read, and when you think about the fact that it is his life was mainly devoted to war, they did a really good job of mixing it up with the chapters. Like you didn't feel like, oh, and they're gonna tell you the story of another battle, I can't believe it. No, it was pretty good. Yeah, they talked like all throughout when he was a kid, his family, which I hadn't paid much attention to his background in Troy. Yeah, and his personal life, I really enjoyed it. Again, 4 out of 5. It's not an amazing book, but it was pretty good. The only thing is, I think the only people who would enjoy this book would be people who really enjoy history and mythology. I don't think it's for everyone, but if you like it, it's a great one. So yeah, these were the books I read in July. I'm hoping to read more books in August, so let's see how it goes.